guys, it's Jessie and welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another Pan Those Eyeshadows update. So if you guys aren't familiar with this project, I've been doing this since the start of last year I believe, but I will link the playlist up here so you guys can catch up because I would recommend you watching all the other videos so you can see the progress. But today we're doing a little bit of a later update because I was away for 2 weeks of March, so I didn't get tons of progress, but we are excitedly going to be rolling out a couple of shades today and rolling in some new bits. So the way my project works, I randomly select 4 shades from my collection plus 1 cream shade, like lid setting shade, and for that lid setting shade I'm just working from my newest palettes backwards because a lot of my projects focused on my older palettes, so that's not randomly generated, but the other 4 shades are. And with those shades my goal is basically to hit pan on them, or I can roll them out after 20 uses, or if they've been in the project for 3 months and I don't think that there's going to be any more progress, which is the case for one of the shades today. But without further ado, I am just going to get straight into it. So I'm going to start off with the cream shade because I feel like that's the least interesting. The one we rolled in, I only started doing this last month, but the one we rolled in was Whisper from my Pastel Roses Angel palette, and I'll put in what it looked like before. It was basically untouched, but now this is just what it looks like here. So as you can see, this one here we do have a pan in there. This took 17 uses and I did hit pan, and obviously I use a lid setting shade every day, so I just went ahead and rolled in the next one, which is my next newest palette, and that is the Beauty Bay Love Notes palette, and this was the shade Cupid, which again was untouched before we started, and this is what it's looking like now. So obviously no pan just yet, but you can see there is a really good dip in there, and I am going to go ahead and just kind of talk to you about the one I'm going to be rolling in afterwards because I've had 8 uses on this one now, and I do think probably by the time we get to 11 uses or so we should have pan. So the next one after that in terms of my newest palette is going to be the Urban Decay Ultraviolet palette, and that means we will roll in the shade Trippin' up here. Again untouched. That one will probably take a while because Urban Decay shades are really hard pressed, so I don't think we will hit pan before the next update or the one after that, but it's got a slight shimmer to it, but nothing kind of too off-putting. It will work definitely very well as a lid setting shade. So that is all the updates for the kind of cream shades. Then for the shades that are going to be staying in this month, we have from my Urban Decay Ultraviolet palette again the shade Lucid. I will obviously put in the progress pictures, but this is just the shade here. This is what it's currently looking like, so you can definitely see some kind of usage marks in there, but I have used this one 13 times this month. I really like wearing this as an inner corner shade. It's really kind of sparkly, a really nice kind of pop of like light kind of blue reflective kind of vibes, and it's really pretty, especially in a blue look, but just even on kind of like a neutral look. I could have worn it today, I just chose not to. I was using a shade from my Pan That palette, but this is the shade there. So yeah, a really pretty shade. I've just used this one 13 times this month, so we need 7 more uses or to hit pan, but these are Urban Decay shades. I don't think we're going to be anywhere near pan anytime soon, so that one will be staying in for the next update. And then the last shade that will be staying in is from my Made by Mitchell Head in the Clouds palette. That is the shade Bora Blue. I've used this one 10 times this month for 12 uses total in this project, and this is just what it's looking like here. So this is the shade there. I don't know if you can see, there is a slight like minor dip forming, really nothing too big at all, but just some kind of very light progress in there. You can see that I have been using it. There are some brush strokes and stuff, but that is just what the shade looks like. So I really like using that in the inner corner with this one layered on top. I feel like they look really nice together, both in a blue look and kind of in a more neutral look. I think they kind of complement each other very well and are kind of subtle enough that it doesn't look kind of crazy that you're wearing a bright colour. But then the 2 shades that are rolling out, the first one is going to be from my Coloured Rain Queen of Hearts palette, and that is the shade Queen Mother. I used this one time this month for 5 uses total in this project, and this has been in here since January I believe, but this is what the shade is looking like now. As you can see, there are some usage marks in there, but nothing significant. We're definitely never going to hit pan, and also I would need to use it 15 more times, and it's just too dark and not really just something I can kind of work into day to day. I am going to continue to work on this palette because it's in my 1 week one palette, and I probably will pan it next year, but yeah, just unfortunately not too much progress in there, and I'm not enjoying the shade, so I'm going to be rolling that one out because it's been in there it's been here for 4 months now, I believe, and yeah, I'm just really not feeling it. And then lastly, we have the shade Boar from my Odin's Eye Freya palette. So I used this one 16 times this month for 20 uses total, and here is just what it's looking like. Here is the shade. I don't know how well you can see, we have got a good dip starting to form in there, but I don't think we are anywhere near pan, and we have hit the 20 uses, so I am going to be kind of using that to roll it out. You can start to see like the indentations ever so slightly of the pan, but really nothing too much. And it's a really pretty shade. I just would not be able to keep this into hit pan. I think that would take forever. I mean, I don't know how deep these shades are, but I think definitely they're not super shallow. So yeah, 16 uses this month, and that one will be rolling out. So we're gonna be rolling out these two palettes and keeping in both the Naked Ultraviolet and the Made by Mitchell. So that means we can roll in 2 new shades, which is exciting. So I'm going to first talk to you a little bit about kind of my pan percentage. So we actually hit a lot of pans in some other projects this month, and just from kind of general use. I have a total of 749 eyeshadows in my collection, which is a lot, but now 49 of them do have pan, which is very exciting, which brings up my pan percentage for April to 6.5%. That is what it was at the end of last year, and that's the highest it's kind of ever been. I'm hoping to not buy any more eyeshadow palettes and just keep hitting my pans, but obviously we will see. But I'm really happy with that. That's definitely a really good number for me, and the highest it's been, so really excited about that. But now I'm just going to pull up the Pretty Random app on my phone and put in numbers 1 to 718, because that is obviously the eligible shades. If something's too similar to what's already in the colour story, then I'm not going to be rolling it in, but besides that, anything's really kind of fair game. So the first number we're going to be rolling in is 655, so that's going to be from a newer palette. That is actually a shade from my Urban Decay Ultraviolet palette again. So by the time I finish up the cream shade in here, we'll have 3 shades from this palette in this project, but the shade, or is it 655, is the shade Mind Slip. So that's going to be quite an easy shade to use. That is just this kind of neutral kind of crease type orangey shade there. So I'm not mad to have rolled that in. I'm also not mad that I won't have to put another palette in my drawer because it's getting very full. But the shade Mind Slip, I'll swatch it out for you. It's just a very light kind of peachy orangey colour. I think this will be really good to use just in the crease, just as kind of like a first shade. It's very similar to Roxy from my Subculture palette, but I think this one's slightly lighter. And Roxy I'm just using in my whole collection project pan. But yeah, that is the next shade we'll be rolling in. That's Mind Slip from the Urban Decay Ultraviolet palette, and I think that will definitely be a 20 use one. I don't see myself hitting pan because these palettes are so deep and the shades are very hard pressed. But the next shade we'll be rolling in is 167, so that's going to be an older palette. So 167 comes from my Maybelline Nudes of New York palette, so that'd be nice. 167, let me find that palette. Here it is. So that is the shade Dreamer. And okay, this actually is probably quite a good one. We had this in a project before last year. This was in my Pan Those eyeshadows before, and this is the shade Dreamer here. So as you can see, we've actually got a really good dip going in there, so we might actually be able to hit pan in this project. I used it 30 times last month without hitting pan, but it does feel like hopefully we aren't too far away. I'm looking at Globetrotter, which is the other one I'd hit pan in, and that is a very deep shadow. So I mean, who knows, like if you look here, that's a very deep pan. But who knows with Dreamer, we'll see. But let's just swatch this out. So that's what that shade looks like there. It's a shimmer shade, and I do think that's definitely too dark for the inner corner, but I can definitely use it kind of on the lid. It's definitely a very pretty colour. I think maybe with a topper over the top it would be even more sparkly, which would be great. But yeah, that's the shade there. So this is going to be our colour story for the next month. I'm definitely very excited about that. I think the goals will be definitely, hopefully I can roll out Lucid and Bora Blue. Obviously I only have 7 and 8 more uses on those, so hopefully I will be able to hit the goal. Mind Slip, maybe I'll be able to hit the goal on. Actually I may be able to hit 20 uses, and Dreamer, we'll see. Hopefully I'll hit pan, but I don't know whether I will by next month. Definitely think I will hit pan in Cupid at that point though, and then I can obviously move on to, what was the shade, Trippin' in this one. But yeah, that is the update for this month. I really hope you guys did enjoy it. If you guys like other Project Pan series, then do check out mine on my channel. and feel free to subscribe. I do loads of panning and kind of using up my makeup content on this channel. But yeah, if you want to watch one of my other videos, there'll be 2 on the screen now to pick from, as well as a load linked up in the cards from earlier. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!